Hello, it's Burgess Taylor, and today we're going to talk about using tarot for your writing. I started R1's e-course in October, the very beginning of October, to plot out my novel for NaNoWriMo, the very novel that I'm working on now. And if you saw my storyboard, then you know that I have all these post-it notes for the plot board. And like, for example, chapter 24 says the Empress. The link between the physical and spiritual worlds, the gateway between the two, and then I have two cards that I pulled to go with that are the Moon, intuition, psychic, dreamer, unconscious, secrets revealed, and then the Nine of Pentacles, which is inheritance, rest, and reflection. I have little keywords for those. So what I want to talk about is how I ended up interested in this to begin with. Now, about a year and a half ago, 2 years ago, Write Faster with Tarot. It's by Diana Castle. And it's a very short ebook. I got it, I don't know, a year and a half ago, 2 years ago. I'd have to look in my Kindle to see exactly when I got it. But I read it, and I had two decks of tarot cards. This is the Enchanted Tarot. It's a beautiful deck. It's an older deck. And I had, when I started R1's course, I got a beginner tarot, I think a couple months before that. And I got this. It's the typical Rider-Waite tarot. Now, once I started R1's course, I got really interested in different kinds of tarot, and I ended up getting what is called the Wizard's Tarot. This is by the same author of the book, Tarot for Writers by Corin Kenner. And then I ended up with the Hobbit tarot deck, which was clearanced on Hot Topic. And this is the cutest little deck, y'all. Furthering my interest, thank you, R1, I ended up with Vintage Wisdom Oracle cards. These are gorgeous. Oh my god, they are so gorgeous. Yes, I have 4 decks of tarot cards and 1 Oracle deck. And I have a... where are they? Now you can see my shirt. My shirt says, "Let the stars guide your way." I thought this was an appropriate shirt considering I was going to be talking about my tarot cards. I have what are called Goddess Knowledge cards. And Amy Zerner and Monty Farber, which are the people, they're the 2 people who created this Enchanted Tarot deck. These are Gifts of the Goddess. They're affirmation cards. I've been such a funk the beginning of the year, the end of the year, and then on and off with the self-doubt and the anxiety and stuff with writing. I got these months ago, but I quit using them for a while. I got so busy trying to write, just write, that I quit doing a lot of the other things that are really were helping me along my journey. And so it's time to get back into all the things that help me with my writing, with my creativity, like the artist way and things like that. So part of R1's big thing when she does videos, and she says at the end of every video, is seek joy, y'all. And I thought, you know, she's right. She's so right. I'm not seeking enough joy inward. I'm busy trying to write, busy trying to art journal. And art journaling is, I'm doing it again, and it is so great to be back to art journaling. But in order to keep my creativity and to keep my inner soul, spirit, self happy and seeking joy and to stay motivated, here's some ways to spark my creativity, to get my muse rolling. And one of those ways are through affirmation cards. And so I'll pull one for today. I have the power to transform my life. And it says, use this gift when you notice resistance, either in yourself or others, to the idea of being able to change your life. Profound change usually comes in small increments over time. Keep a positive attitude and you will be able to undo years of negative affirmations in record time. My journaling for today, I will write, I have the power to transform my life. And it will help remind me later when I maybe go look back at that page or when I'm creating that page to keep that in mind. But when it comes to the tarot, y'all just don't understand what a really big difference that using the tarot has made for my writing. And I know I digressed and I started talking about that, but I got introduced with the tarot by that little ebook. Then I found Arwen's course in September and I debated over it for about a week or two, and then I thought, you know what, instead of taking some expensive class, I had taken some of Holly Lyle's short classes, and I had been contemplating on taking the Think Sideways class, but it's rather expensive. I thought, you know what, let's do something fun. I mean, I like the tarot, and this is interesting, and I need to plot out my novel anyway. And what I've been doing so far has not really worked because I am a pantser at heart. I need some more creativity than just plotting. So let's try this. So I did. I signed up for a course and it was $33 for 30 days worth of writing your novel with the tarot cards. And Arwen is fantastic. She is absolutely fantastic. She has a Facebook page for that class, for the e-course. She has great videos about, she does the tarot card readings for the week, and they're pretty on, they are on the mark. I tell you, they're really on the mark. So after I finished Arwen's course, actually halfway through Arwen's course, I was thinking about it, because there were other things that were recommended. I ended up ordering this. It's a used book, but it looked brand new. It's a fabulous book. It's really in-depth and detailed. The same, she's one of the, I guess, the writers for this, and it's got a story behind it. It is the Wizard's Tarot. The pictures are gorgeous. The illustrator did a great job. And I like how creative this book of tarot, the tarot cards are, and the book that goes with it is. So I've been using the tarot. Now, tarot cards have been used for a long time as inspiration for different kinds of things. Others have used them as props for a while. There are actually a few famous writers like Stephen King have said that they've used the tarot cards. Steinbeck, using the tarot cards for inspiration. Let's take away the divination part of the tarot and let's just talk about the tarot as a tool for answering questions or getting insight into your writing as a sort of a prompt generator, like when you go on Google Images or Pinterest or wherever and you see different things, that pictures, images that prompt creativity, because the illustrations on tarot cards are amazing. On some of the cards, they're absolutely amazing. Think about it though, when I was taking Arwen's class, I learned a lot. I did some different spreads. She walks you through like how to do certain things, and she gives you examples. And over that 30 days, I learned a lot. What I also learned is that if you think about it, you could plot out your character arc, you could plot out your characterizations, pull cards for different characters. You can use the major or the minor arcana separately or use it all together. What you might want to do first though is find yourself a tarot deck that you like, that stands out, that speaks to you. There are animal ones, there are paranormal ones, there are fairy tale ones, angel ones, nature ones, zombie decks, vampire decks, goth decks, vintage decks, all kinds of different decks. If you don't want to buy a deck, you could actually go online. They have some apps for phones and stuff like that where you could do it. Amazon has a lot of tarot decks, or you could go to your local bookstore and get a tarot deck with a book. Most tarot decks have 78 cards. Like I said, they're major and minor arcana. You want to look at what the meanings of the cards are if you're really interested in that, or you could just use the cards, the actual illustration on the card and go from there. I mean, you don't have to actually read the cards. You could use for example, they have different spreads in here for plotting, for characterization. But you could also just use the major arcana for like the archetype of the characters. That's what she has listed in here. She has different archetypes listed in here as well as writing prompts. Like for example, like I said, the Empress was, let's see if I can find her. Okay. The Empress was one of my chapters. She has key symbols. She has information about that card. Then she has key symbols, keywords, myths and legends, astrology, associations, and then it says literary archetypes. The Empress may embody any number of literary archetypes, including the artist, the creator, the earth mother, the goddess, the matriarch, the mother, and the queen. And for writing prompts, she says write about creativity, fertility, a pregnancy planned or unplanned, labor and delivery, the birth of a miracle child, Demeter and Persephone, a comparison between birth and death, a living person's visit to the afterlife, a dark mother like Kali, the creator-destroyer, a crone with her days as maiden and mother behind her. What mine is a living person's visit to the afterlife, because that chapter actually happens to be when my character is in a coma, sort of, and she goes in a dreamscape. She goes to the afterlife and she visits with her ancestor, and that's what that part's about. So like I said, there also the minor arcana are broken down just like your regular deck of cards. Like the wands would be the clubs, the cups or chalices would be the hearts, the swords would be the spades, the coins or pentacles would be the diamonds. Wands are fire, and they symbolize spirituality or a spiritual experience. The cups or chalices represent water, and they symbolize emotional stuff. The swords represent air, and they symbolize like thought and communication, messenger. The coins or pentacles, they represent earth, and they symbolize physical, material, or financial realities, thus the name coins. There are also the king, the queen, the knight, prince, the page or knave, princess, the arcana. Some vary, so you kind of have to look at it. So you could actually do a journal of your different, like the cards that you pull. I wrote down everything that I did with it when I was plotting and brainstorming, when I was doing my character creations, when I was doing the character arcs. I ended up doing the hero's journey with it, you know, the outline. And then I did some other things with it, just trying to kind of figure out what all I needed for my novel, like to spark some things. Like there were days when I just wasn't sure what I was doing that chapter or with a scene, and I would randomly shuffle my cards and I would pick a card and I would use that card as inspiration for what was going on in that scene. This is getting a lot longer than I wanted it to be. My big thing here though is that you can use all different kinds of things to inspire your writing. I am going to be going back over Arwen's course, and I need to redo something with my Facebook thing so that I have her on my correct Facebook page for the writing. And if you are remotely thinking about outlining, writing for Camp NaNoWriMo in April, if you're in the process of redoing an outline, whatever, you really should give Arwen's class, her e-course, a try. I am not getting paid for this. I am not an affiliate. This is not a sponsored video. I simply love her class, the e-course. I think she's terrific, and thanks to her, my writing has joy in it again. And I realized when I after my meltdown, I realized I had stepped away from what was so fun about my writing and what was so exciting, and I'm in the process of uploading a video about that right now. It's a coffee chat video, but filmed that earlier this morning. Much of what I do, creatively speaking, inspires me to do all the other creative things. And I was so busy trying to do like a certain thing that I wasn't seeing the forest for the trees. I couldn't enjoy any of, I don't know how I ended up in that rut, but I did. Like I said, I'm going back to the basics with some of the stuff I'm having trouble with. Like I said, I'm rewriting my first chapter, and so those first 3 or 4 chapters are going to be in the maybe I'll use later file, And I'm going to be starting my novel from the funeral scene, which means I need to rewrite that funeral scene so it's actually first chapter kind of scene. It's actually an opening image. And that right now is not an opening image because I wrote it as like a completely different kind of scene. I'm working on it though. I'm back to writing. I'm feeling really good about the writing. And I'm just trying to learn how to juggle all the things so that I can do all the things I really want to do and be happy and seek joy, y'all. So, good one. Stars guide you, and I'll see you soon. Bye.